There were several questions at the forum around the issue of people experiencing homelessness in our city. And there was also one around policing. So I want to combine the two because I think the two are related. In the sense that the police are the ones largely handling and dealing with this situation. When I talked to Staff Sergeant West, he indicated that it was at least half of their job was this kind of work. And so to answer the question about whether we move to a city police system, I don't think that this is the right time to do that. Right now, we don't have the emergency services in our city to handle that kind of transition. We have a very serious problem that needs fixing now. I think with the right stopgap measures in place, we could get to a place where we have the need for less police officers doing social service work. But I still don't think the answer would be moving to a city police force. I think the RCMP are doing a good job. I think that we have good police officers here that are compassionate and doing this work in the best way that they know how with the training that they have. I will say that I will acknowledge my own bias in thinking I knew what the problem was and why we had so many people experiencing homelessness in our city, and that, I assumed that the affordability crisis and people had been moved out from affordable housing and out into the streets. And I've learned that that's not actually the case, and that sometimes what happens when you do implement really good affordable housing options like the Cedar option that CMHA has brought in, word gets out and folks come here looking for that affordable housing. And so that's from the perspective of the RCMP why we have an increase in those folks in our community, not necessarily that they've gone from having housing to not having housing in our city. So I think that's a lesson that we need to learn as city councilors making these kinds of decisions, is when we approve a large affordable housing unit and the police tell us that will likely attract more folks, what is our plan for that? And how are we going to help those people? If we're attracting new people here, how do we keep them safe, and how do we keep our community safe as well? So I said in the forum, and I believe strongly, that this is a cross-jurisdiction problem. This is a problem that's happening in our city, but across the country, and therefore it requires cross-jurisdictional solutions. So BC Housing has to come to the table with solutions. I mentioned that in the forum. Sometimes I hear from my provincial colleagues, my political connections, that cities don't help them. So we have to be willing to come to the table with solutions as well, provide land if they're willing to provide temporary shelters. And I also said that it's shocking that we haven't declared a state of emergency around the poison drug supply. People are dying every single day. We're fighting resource wars abroad, but aren't taking care of a epidemic here in our very own country. I have a friend that works for the UN, and they set up temporary barracks style, not fancy, but basic living stuff, showers, laundry, opportunities for 3 squares a day. Very quickly and for a lot of people every single day. And there's just no reason that our military doesn't have the resources to be doing those things and taking care of a very, very serious problem that we have. It's not going to be something that the city can afford to do, but we could come to the table with solutions and partnerships, especially around land use. So that's what I would do moving forward, is to advocate for a state of emergency response warranted by the emergency that we are living. every single day.